Hey everybody, welcome to Monday Night Live. I'm April Ann, Diamond Ambassador, and tonight I have one of our newest senior golds with me. Her name is Rachel Paisani. She is actually a mama of two. She's from Tennessee. Crazy thing is, she actually was my virtual assistant. That's how we first met. She made a pivot, which you'll hear about a little bit tonight. And you guys, she has a lot of yellow in her. She is a little bit nervous tonight, and I said that you guys would be kind and understanding. And she is just excited to share her journey with y'all tonight and what it has looked like. So, with that, Rachel, hopefully you can unmute yourself. And why don't you tell us first why you decided to jump in with the business originally?
Okay, well, first of all, I can't believe I have to go after Michelle Stuchel. This is just not even fair. I feel like I just went to church and now, but here I am. I'm inspired. I had a really unique inside look at what sort of life-changing income April was making. So that is, my journey is definitely different in that sense because I knew this opportunity was very real. Um, Also, I'm a little short of breath from getting over being sick. So if I sound like I'm hyperventilating, it's fine. I'm good. Um, but some people come into this wondering, like, is this real? Can I make real money? How much money can I realistically make? But I could see your paycheck. So after, watching you for a couple of weeks, and doing this day in, day out, I could see myself doing the same thing. And I thought, if she can do this over here and be successful, why can't I? Um, my family and I have and still had and still have credit card debt. Not as much now, thank goodness. We were a one income family because when we decided to move from Michigan to Tennessee, I knew that I wanted to be home with my babies and not miss a moment. But there came a time when I realized that if we ever wanted to live financially free, it would take me contributing to our monthly income. So, once we're debt free, I want to see the world. I have really big dreams of taking my kids on vacations. I want to treat my parents to vacations. And you guys, I really want to buy my husband a truck. He is a truck guy through and through. He's sacrificed that for 3.5 years now, driving this tiny little car that looks like a go-kart. He thinks his man card is gone. And I want to do that for him. So when I saw April's check, it really did make my eyes pop out of my head a little bit that I could be home and learn these skills and do this thing.
I love all of that. And I see the chat blowing up, and it's really relatable, Rachel, because who doesn't have credit card debt or loan debt or a car payment or a house payment, right? We all know that money provides options, right? And we all need money to do different things. And so all of that is relatable. And I knew from day one when we met, I was like, ooh, the chemistry is there, the connection is there. Like, she needs to do this with me. So, what do you think are some things, Rachel, that I did at the beginning that really got you inspired to jump in with the business?
So you have always had really high belief in me, April, super high. And I know that's a theme on your team and Brittany's team and Christina's, but you always told me from the beginning, I see you as a diamond. I see you on the beaches with, me and Adam and you and Tony and changing everything for your family. And now I realize just how special that approach was because I've since learned that, I am yellow. I also have a lot of blue. You hear me talking about traveling. And you knew that. Like, you had me pinpointed from the start. So you knew what would inspire me, what was going to excite me, and what would get me believing in myself and believing that I could do this.
Yeah, and that's what is important, y'all, is first of all, you need the belief, right? We heard Michelle talk about it tonight. If you don't have belief, how can you go and build a team? How can you go and cast vision, right? So you need to have rock solid belief when it comes to our products, when it comes to the opportunity, when it comes to network marketing, when it comes to yourself, right? And then also, like Rachel said, it's twofold, right? It's understanding what is this going to do for them? What color could she be? what might excite her, what might inspire her, right? So it also takes connecting with people, right? And then also listening. That's hard for me to do at times, right? Being an extrovert, it's like I have to remind myself, be quiet and listen. So it really is important, y'all, when you're getting people started with the business to have that big belief, because I'm trying to think about me as a successful speech therapist, military spouse, like we didn't need any of this technically, right? So if my sponsor would have went in tiptoeing around and been like, yeah, I mean, maybe you could make $500, to me, I'd be like, no, thanks. I'll continue my line of work, right? So you have to go big with your vision. So let's talk, Rachel, a little bit about your year in review. Tell us a little bit what your point journey looked like, just so people can have an idea of what your journey has looked like so far.
Okay, so I joined the last week of December 2020, and I was sharing right after I got my products in January of last year. So I went silver in January, and in March I hit senior silver. April was gold. May through July, I was consistently growing. And you guys, July, I ended at 238 points. And we'll talk more about that in a minute, but that was a rough one for me. And then August and September, my points went backwards. So, and then October, November, I started growing again. And then December was senior gold.
So there you guys have it, right? We're always saying it's not linear. It's not going to be linear. It's not going to be up, 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 up. It's sometimes up, down, stable, 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 down, up, down, right? It's just always different. But it is, just like Rachel said, dependent upon the work you did previously or the lack of work you did, right? Your points are always going to reflect what you're doing in your business or what you maybe need to be doing more of. So let's talk a little bit about those obstacles, Rachel. I know you mentioned about missing the senior gold rank. And I remember the night you texted me and you were so disappointed. And so let's share a little bit with everyone else, because you guys, probably one of these obstacles she's going to share with y'all tonight, maybe you've already experienced it, or maybe you're about to experience it. So why don't you go ahead and share those, Rachel?
Okay, so July, I missed senior gold by 12 points. I had no idea I would end up that close, which just goes to show. And I really kicked myself hard for that because, you can work up until midnight on the 30th or the 31st, and you have no idea what's going to happen. And I counted that out like a week before the month was over. I'm like, nope, not going to happen. And I learned that lesson the hard way. But that was the first time that this happened to me, when my points started going backwards. And I'm just thankful for it now, because it really taught me a lot. Mostly, I don't ever want to feel like that again. Like I fell just short of something that I knew I could do. Um, but I knew that it was my fault and my fault alone for not getting myself there. I really had to ask myself, what was the cause of this? How could I miss this by so few points? And it was really just one thing: inconsistent IPA. And I knew it. I knew I was slacking in that area. I just continued to let it happen. I had all the excuses. It was July. My kids were home. We were traveling. Summer's so chaotic. I don't have time. But I knew in the back of my mind, I was just making excuses. So really, really inconsistent. So as in, I would send a few messages every few days and just expected the fruits to produce themselves. So after I missed senior gold, my points were going backwards. Like I said, I just realized not only how important IPA was going to be, but duplication was really going to be the only way for me to reach every other rank that I wanted to get to. So I really had to focus on the awesome people that I already had on my team. They had big vision, and I wanted to work with them to help them hit their goals. So I think an obstacle there was just underestimating the importance of duplicating and supporting my team and helping them hit their goals. I know everybody relates to the work home life balance, but I just have to touch on it because this was a big one for me. It's so easy to get distracted. The laundry, the dishes, the floors, the kids, the meals. I mean, when you have littles at home, they want everything. They want it all. And I'm the type of person that would love to sit down and work for 4 hours and not get distracted and just go from one thing to the next, like when I'm done. And you can't do that in this business. And so I really had to prioritize my time. Yes, Rachel, they want your attention all day long. And, that was a big obstacle. My house has taken a big hit, I won't lie, since starting Plexus, but I'm really, really blessed to have the husband that I do. He's really supportive. He doesn't care if the floor is scattered with toys when he walks in the door. But I had to have that conversation with him, like from the beginning, the get go. And then, especially when I made changes, I said, there are things that are going to take precedent now throughout my day. So if I leave crap laying around and he sees that I watched 3 episodes of The Bachelor, we're going to have problems. But if he knows that I had 3 calls and I was doing my IPA and getting stuff done, and, my goals are becoming our bigger picture family goals, he gets that. Thank goodness. So, that's more important than my floors being mopped. And then the other obstacle is just mom guilt. I had it every single time I had to tell my kids, not right now, I need to work or answer this message. That was really hard for me. And I felt like I was ignoring them, or, they've been used to my full attention their entire lives. And it just felt like I had to give them my undivided attention all the time, or I wasn't a good mom. So I want to mention just 2 things quick that really changed my perspective. The first is, and I should have found it before we hopped on here, but Brittany Howard did a live last summer. I remember sitting on my swing set in the backyard, and she talked all about how important it is for our kids to see us work, and how biblical it is, and how it's okay to say, not right now. Mommy's working, I'm doing something for the family. This is my contribution. And then the other thing was, April, you once asked me point blank, do you clean your house with your kids around? And I was like, yeah. She's like, do you do the laundry? I said, yeah. She's like, well, what's different about taking time away from them to do those things versus taking time away to work your business? And I was like, mic drop. Okay. All right. Got it. So I had to shift my perspective in that it's really okay to set boundaries with your kids, even with the little kids, because that time that mommy is spending on her phone working is, it's important for all of us. So if someone could please come explain that to them, I would really appreciate it.
So that is so relatable, Rachel. And that's why I wanted to share, you guys, because who hasn't struggled to work their business during the summer, right? When the pool's open and everyone wants to go on a play date, or who hasn't almost missed a rank or missed a rank before? Who hasn't struggled with mom guilt, right? Every single person tonight probably connected with one or several of those areas. And by the way, for the record, I remember asking Rachel that question. And in fact, it was on I guess I would call it a very, I don't know what the word I'm thinking of. Basically, so it got to the point where I was chatting with Christina and she was like, April, you need to give her tough love, right? Can you guys see Christina saying that to me, right? And I was like, I can't, like, I'm so nervous that she's going to walk away. She's going to quit. And Christina's words will always be in the back of my mind. And she said, April, she is looking at you to help her be successful. So if you are unwilling to get outside your comfort zone as her leader, who she's looking up to and who she wants to help be successful with, then you're doing yourself a disservice as a leader. So I got up the gumption. I said, girl, we need to chat. She had no idea what we're going to be chatting about, and got her on the phone. And you guys, I knew that one of two outcomes were going to happen. So I had to be emotionally unattached, right? And I had to say, okay, she's either going to pivot and make some changes or she's going to quit, right? And so we had this conversation on the phone. You guys, I was sweating. I was nervous. I was probably nauseous. And we had a tough conversation. And I asked lots of great questions and shared some perspective. There were lots of tears. It was a hard conversation to have, but I felt great leaving the conversation saying I did everything I could as her leader to try to move her forward. And so, Rachel, tell me a little bit and everyone else about what changed your mind then. What was going through your mind? What were you processing? All the things.
Here's the thing, you guys. April talks about that conversation being hard for her, and she was nervous that I was going to give up on myself, but never once did she waver in her confidence in me, even through that discussion. So, she still was calling out my potential and walking me through my thoughts. Like, she was not emotionally attached. I never would have known that you were going to throw up or whatever, how I feel right now, basically. But she listened to me cry for basically an hour straight and, let me know that it was up to me to pull myself out of the funk I was in. So what changed my mind was the fact that she essentially held up a mirror for me. And she said, is this who you want to be? Is this how you envision your business going? Is this, are you going to do what's necessary to fix your mind? Push through the junk? Are you going to be successful? And that's our job for others. So not only did she convince me to keep going, but it really showed me how to be a better leader to my people. So we are in charge of holding up that mirror and encouraging our runners and asking them if they want to continue on the same path, or do they want to be bold and decide, because it is a decision, to make that U-turn and start crushing their goals. And I knew I never was going to quit. So you may not have known, but I told myself before I ever started this journey. I sat down with my husband last December. I made my parents watch my kids. We went for a drive and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I needed his buy-in, and I just had really high belief from the get-go. So even though, my belief in myself wavered a little bit, I just never allowed my mind to say, it's time to give up. I just was not going to go there.
That is so powerful. And I remember that night you texted me saying, hey, just talk to Tony. Let's do it. Sign me up. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's the best day ever. So you guys had flooded my inbox because you guys saw the black and white difference of Rachel Paisani, right? And she started to take some major steps towards ownership, towards making these small changes consistently over time. And obviously it shows, right? Because she earned Leaders Retreat. She's ranked up now. She has a team of up and coming leaders. She's duplicating, okay? So what ways did you decide to take ownership, Rachel, and what did it look like?
Well, it's pretty simple. I just decided to do the things. In October, I started hosting early morning power hours. My 6 a.m. people are probably like, that's what she really looks like with makeup on, because they really get a picture in the morning. But I knew I had to wake up and do it in the morning. I would have this IPA dark cloud hanging over my head all the time. And then sometimes I still wouldn't do it, even though I was thinking about it all day. And then I'd go to bed mad at myself for not showing up. So getting it done first thing was the biggest change. And this way I couldn't let any mom or household tasks get in the way. Wasn't an excuse anymore. And you guys, even if I only managed to send like 4 or 5 messages in that hour, to me, it was worth it, because it really just it starts my day. Like when I'm working like that, you learn to fit it in again in other pockets of your day, because you're excited. You're like, all right, I got the ball rolling this morning. Okay, who else can I talk to? And so getting into action is just so important first thing for me. And then personal growth, of course, we all are told this every week. I think I did every single day of Diamonds in December. I took notes, I shared them with April. When people share videos in our awesome chats, I'm always saving them, going back and watching. I'm always buying new books. My husband may kill me if I buy any more leadership books. They're like stacking up right here. And I'm just choosing to feed my mind with positive things. And staying within my strengths is another one. I'm not a master recruiter. I don't think I'll ever be. Working on it, I want to be. And it's something that I'm growing in and working through, but I think I'm better at duplicating. And so I've started to focus more on that. And I will ask myself, am I bringing in long-term committed go-getters, leaders and learners that want to grow and want to be helped? Which I am, because my runners are awesome. Just have to throw that in there. And then the last thing is just showing up consistently on social media. I mean, it took me a really long time to realize that I have value to add. We all get stuck there and think like, what do I even say? Oh my gosh, I'm going to sit down and write this post. And I really knew it was a mindset issue. If I let those thoughts brew, it would definitely show in the post that I was writing too. So I just made a point to do it anyway, to do it scared, to post things that felt like me, even if they only got 1 or 2 likes or no comments. We all know that people are watching those journeys, all of our journeys, even if they don't engage in our posts.
Yeah, so I remember the moment that things started to change. You guys, as a leader, you know when your people's feet are matching their mouth. And also, there's nothing more exciting than I didn't even get to tag her yet, and she's already giving me her takeaways, or she's sending me things that she's been reading about on her own that I didn't even have an idea she's reading that book, right? So she started to take ownership of the things that were honestly holding her back. And to her, these felt like big, daunting things, right? Inconsistent IPA, not wanting to deal with the mindset, not wanting to step outside her comfort zone. But when she finally started doing that, the results were coming, right? And that started to inspire her. And so I want you guys, as you're listening to the rest of the call, to think about maybe some things that you currently need to take ownership of. All right, so how have those changes now produced fruit in your business, Rachel?
Mostly the confidence that I have in myself. I mean, as a business owner, we hear it all the time. If you want to be unstuck, you have to get into action, and you'll never gain any confidence until you go and do the things. So that is consistent messaging, consistent posting, being prompt with your follow-ups, talking to your runners at least weekly. And I also believe that showing up consistently helped my runners see what it means to show up. So if you're not showing your team that you are as invested as they are, or if they don't see you showing up regularly, you're going to lose credibility with them. And you're going to lose the trust that you're trying to gain with them. And we all know that trust is the basis of these relationships that we're building. So we've had multiple discussions in our book study around this. But I just had this light bulb moment where if my team was putting in more work than me, I would never be as successful as I wanted to be. And I, again, have really strong runners that are putting in the work, and they made me want to step my game up, and show them what a leader looks like. So my team is duplicating like crazy now. And then, 2 months after really being consistent, was when I ranked up. So I think that more people are probably watching my journey now and see that consistency, and even the people that haven't joined me yet.
That's the key, right? The people that haven't yet joined you. So there was something I was going to say, but I can't remember. Oh, when it comes to you guys, if you're recruiting up, which is a really good thing, right? It's a great business move. You have 1 of 2 choices. You can either shut up and sit down, right? And you can let them take precedence, or you can choose to up your lid right? You can choose to dig in and say, I want to be that leader for them, right? I want to be able to, like Rachel said, put in the work, put in the time, grow the team. So, what would you say your rank up to senior gold has meant to you and your family?
It has definitely helped me see that I'm capable of doing hard things. We put the most of my last check towards our debt. So that feels really good. And then we're also taking some of it and we're going to go to Seaside, Florida for spring break in April. But mostly for my team, I really hope that I've just managed to inspire one of them or more of them to get to this level. And I don't even really think it's the title senior gold that's what matters. I mean, we hear that all the time we all want to be diamonds, but they all say, it's not the title when you get there, it's what that represents and what you can do with your life at that point. So I think, it's just the fact that I didn't give up on myself. And when you hit a new level, you start to believe in yourself more. And showing up, you're gaining that confidence, and you show everybody on your team that you're not going to stop. Even if it takes points going backwards, the mindset trash, or even a few extra months or even years to get there.
Yes, so inspiring. I'm excited for your trip to Seaside. I love Seaside. So what would you say, because you talk about your year, right? And you told me so many times, I'm not the same Rachel I used to be. I don't even recognize myself. What would you say are some major changes that maybe you've seen or your husband has seen?
Guys, your comments are so sweet. I like see every third one. It makes me smile. It's making this easier, so thank you. Well, it's impacted me in ways I think I never anticipated, which I feel like is pretty common on Freedom Team specifically, because I think it just speaks to the culture that we have. We join for extra money, a chance to have something of our own besides being a mama, or because we just feel terrible and we want to feel better. But I've gained a huge, yes, best culture ever. A huge community of friends in you all that I love. It's just a greater sense of self. Like I'm worthy of so much more than how I was previously living. April's trying to get me to cry during this part. I can see it in her eye. I'm not going to do it. Don't even look at me like that. Excuse me. But really, like just everything, health, finances, my community, my walk with the Lord, all of it. Um, and I graduated with a business degree. It took me years to get a job that I actually liked. And then once I was in that job for a while, Renee, I just realized that I'd never be able to get where I wanted to be in life with that profession. I would be working 9-hour days with a commute both ways, missing my babies grow up. Um, and then if I could get there, it would take decades. So my family has definitely gained a happier, more motivated wife and mom. It's helped me to dream. Don't even look at me. I'm not crying. And I was never a dreamer. Like I'm not a vision board type of person. I'm just not. But never thought about ultimate goals in life and where I was headed. So I was just like floating along and maybe wondering if when I was going to win the lottery. I don't even play the lottery. So I don't know. It's like giving me this, I have big dreams now. And I have a clear path on how to get there.
First of all, I'm so proud of you. You didn't cry. Y'all, when we were practicing, I said, if you cry, it'll just add to it. Like everyone will be like, oh my gosh, I can so relate. And everyone else be crying. Um, First of all, Rachel, I am so proud of you because like as a leader, you guys, we see the potential, but there's only so much we can do to unlock it. And then it's up to you guys to really tap in, to dig in, to do some looking in the mirror, like Rachel said, and to take ownership, right? And then to do it consistently and to watch the fruit be produced. And so I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited that you hit senior gold. What would you say is your next, like, what's your next plan of action? Where do you hope to go with 2022 as we wrap up the call?
Well, thank you for your help because I definitely would not have been here or gotten here without you. So I'm very thankful for you. But my plan is to be senior Ruby at least by the end of this year. But really, my vision is to grow a bigger team that has a really close sense of community. We have a great one right now, and I want also people that want to immerse themselves in the larger freedom team. I want people who are inspired. They want more for their life. Maybe even the people like me who were not dreamers, and I'm going to show them how to dream. And then they want help getting there. So, but that's what feels really good to me is knowing that because I'm not giving up on my dreams, other people now have a path through me to help them get to theirs.
Beautiful. So that brings me to y'all. You are either moving towards your goals or away. You are either moving towards diamond or away, right? There is no in between. And so that's going to be up to you, right? Will you decide to go all in, to stop the excuses so you too can start producing fruit and work out a purpose, just like Rachel explained tonight, and be able to take some ownership and have a thriving, growing, beautiful business, right? You guys, 2022 is going to be an amazing, amazing year. And how far you go is going to be up to you. And so choose to make those changes, do them consistently, do the hard work, and y'all just keep going every single day. I promise it's going to pay off. So it's your turn to move forward. And we hope that you guys love this call tonight.